Hello and welcome back to Dandoozi. Today I'm going to be talking about this 2008 Topps baseball card complete set. This is the Babe Ruth. It was a Target special edition, him with the Babe Ruth card. It had about 600 cards in it, series 1 and 2. There's these stacks here are what was inside the set. I pulled out, this is the stuff that I'm going to keep. And I also looked through an additional box of about 100 cards. This is kind of potpourri, really a bunch of different types of cards in there. Um, let's see. I also opened up this Fleer baseball card pack. It's from 1990, which I understand is it's a junk era series, 1990. The junk era, as I was looking into it a little bit more, is about 1987 to 1994. So the cards during in those years are not quite as valuable as I understand it, but I'm not really an expert on the subject. But I am going to show you some cards that I pulled out, stuff that I want to keep, stuff that maybe is a little bit more valuable. And when I say valuable, I'm talking, maybe the card gets up to $2 and up. It depends. Some cards might be a little bit more. Alrighty. Start with these here. So I was a little disappointed when I was looking through the 2008 set because I was really expecting to find two cards in there. There's supposed to be a Max Scherzer rookie card in there and a Clayton Kershaw rookie card, and neither of those cards were in the set. So as what I'm imagining is we probably bought it not straight from Target, so it wasn't sealed, and whoever we bought it from probably pulled those cards out to resell them and sold the rest of them. So those cards, yeah, that Clayton Kershaw rookie card, if you get that PSA graded, it was going for a lot of money. So I really wanted that card, but that's okay. We still got some fun cards to look at. So these are the ones I pulled out. This stack aren't the ones that I'm keeping. I keep mostly Angels and just cards that I like. So this is Lyle Overbay, Jeff Kent, Tim Lincecum. Man, he was a big star. I remember everyone was talking about Lincecum. Andy Marte. One of my best friends is a Giants fan, and Angels and Giants 2002 World Series. There was a big rivalry that year at least, so it's fun to poke fun at each other. Uh, George Cantu, I want to say his name, or maybe Jorge. But I think at this point he's probably got more to boast about with the Giants than the Angels, unfortunately. But that could obviously turn around. It's a cool Pedro Martinez card. These are neat too because they include the signatures on there. Billy Wagner. Again, these are the cards that seemed to have more value when I was looking them up. Not entirely certain why some of these cards are here. Jay Gibbons. Greg Maddux. Now, this would be a good time to pull out another card that I decided to keep. This is one that I want to hang on to. Greg Maddux. side by side there is 280 career wins. This cool Tops Moment card. That was in the pack of 100 random cards. Uh, yeah, Maddox is a fantastic pitcher, so I really like the design of this card. So I'm going to hang on to this Maddox card. Charlie Manuel. The Phillies kind of have a special place in my heart too. Actually, this season in particular, the 2008 year, I was on a baseball team and we were the Phillies, and we actually won, and that was really big for me when I was younger. It was a really fun season. I felt our mascot was the Philly Fanatic, of course, so it was a lot of fun getting to know the Phillies. Shane Victorino. Dioner Dio Dionir Navarro. I don't know how to say his name. I apologize. This card actually held some value. It might have been skewed by one or two purchases off eBay, but for whatever reason, it was showing a higher value on this. And when I say higher value, I think it was more like $4 or $5. But again, that could be mistaken there. Brian Friel. There's a good one. I like this picture of Ken Griffey Jr. David Ross. This is a nice one. Joey Votto rookie card. That is neat. I honestly thought he was around longer than 2008 as his rookie season. So here it is. So Votto, Kershaw, Scherzer all started right around 2008. Oh, yeah. Manny Ramirez. Man Ram hits walk-off home run. ALDS 2007. Not a big fan of Manny Ramirez. I think he's doing really well in the Japanese leagues. He may have retired by now, but yeah, I never really took on to Manny Ramirez. This set, for whatever reason, really favored the Red Sox. It felt like. I mean, obviously they were in the postseason and the World Series of '07. Pretty sure they won, and yeah, there's a lot of Red Sox cards in here. A lot of Manny Ramirez cards. Postseason highlights, World Series. Coco Crisp. That that name will always make me chuckle. Reminds me of Cookie Crisp. I'm sure he's never heard that ever before. Julio Lugo. Dustin Pedroia. I want to say Dustin Pedroia was on the cover of MLB The Show in 2008. He was a great ball player. Classic combos. Ivan Rodriguez and Justin Verlander. I like Verlander a lot. I really appreciate him and the game that he plays. He's a fantastic pitcher. Ron Gardenhire. This is the Twins manager. This card held some value as well. I want to say he was like a $4 card. All right, so that's kind of the higher value from the 2008 set. Not a whole lot. And then this is the stuff that I'm going to hang on to. So this is the Babe Ruth promo card that came with the 2008 set. I mean, everyone, I feel like, I shouldn't speak for everyone, but when you're young playing ball, you watch The Sandlot. I feel like Babe Ruth just kind of naturally gets idolized, and he did that for me. The Great Bambino, Sultan of SWAT, King of Clout. I mean, if you don't like the Babe, you gotta at least like The Sandlot. I really like this card. Keeping that one. Good old GA, Garrett Anderson. Eric Ibar. I miss Ibar. Orlando Cabrera. I almost forgot about him when I pulled this card, but he was a fun watch. Sean Figgins. Him and GA, I feel like Garrett Anderson were very like similar nature, just very respectable ball players. Big Daddy Vladdy. I always pull the Vladdy cards. I love his swing. He's always got the same golf swing, arms fully extended. That face he makes clenching. He was just blasting everything that came across the plate. Oh, another one of my favorites, Torrey Hunter. I'm really excited for Kurt Suzuki to manage the team this next season. But I really wanted Torrey Hunter to do it. I feel like when Torrey Hunter was on the Angels, he was the captain. Man, he rallied the team together. I I loved watching Torrey. I thought he was just a special guy. And I feel like especially when Mike Trout came onto the scene, he was perfect to kind of lead him into his career. Meister is Torres, a little guy. Howie Howie got traded to the Dodgers and won a World Series. I Howie was fantastic. I miss having him. I actually saw Howie Kendrick on a road trip I was taking with some friends, and we were out at Bryce Canyon. I was at a little diner, side of the road burger shop, and Howie Kendrick was with his family there. Casey Kochman. Of course, I didn't want to bug Howie, but it was really neat to see him kind of out of out of the realm of baseball, and I believe he was retired by that point. So retired and traveling, it looks like. Big John Lackey. Lackey liked to get into fights. He loved the big team brawls. He went off to Boston, so maybe it was a good fit for Lackey. Gary Matthews. Had a lot of hope for him. It didn't really pan out for the Angels, but still, it was fun to see him come out and play. Kendry Morales. Some cards I've seen spell his name Kendry, some say Kendris with an S on the end. And I always remembered it as Kendris Morales. So I'm not sure why that is. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, he either has the S there or doesn't. Kendris was the one that broke his ankle hitting the grand slam coming around to home and jumped on home plate, and yeah, not a great situation. Mike Napoli, this is one of my favorite players ever. I have his jersey. I love Mike. When I was playing ball, I played catcher, so I of course naturally gravitated to liking catchers. And the first game that I saw Mike Napoli play, he hit 3 home runs in. I mean, it was love at first sight. I wanted to be Mike Napoli. I don't know. I idolized him for a while there. So he was my favorite player. Got his jersey. I played catcher and first base. K-Rod, Frankie Rodriguez. Irvin Santana. Mike Scioscia. I do miss Mike managing. Again, I'm happy Kurt Suzuki's going to be managing, though. Jared Weaver. Got a couple Weavers. Reggie Willits. See, it was back around these seasons that the Angels really leaned into playing small ball. Brandon Wood, he was a good rookie. They played small ball, and that's what won them the 2002 World Series. That's always kind of been the Angels' thing: is you play station to station, you get your hits, you get the runs in, you generate runs. I feel like in the last few seasons they've gone away from that a little bit. They've leaned on it ever since the Josh Hamilton situation, maybe even before that. With Pujols, but I really like Pujols. They went to just going for the big names over playing with who they have. I feel like they've gone back to that a little bit, and maybe the last couple seasons. Obviously, it hasn't panned out as well as it did in the past, but here we are. Darren Erstad, speaking of 2002 World Series, went on to the Astros. And speaking of Kurt Suzuki, again, catchers. Catchers make great managers because they know the game. They're the captains of the field. They know all aspects. I mean, they see everything. So a lot of catchers, Mike Scioscia included, go on to becoming managers. Houston Street, the A's. Joe Blanton. I don't know that I was a huge fan of Blanton, but I'm going to keep his card. I remember his hat always being kind of crooked. But here he is on the A's anyway. Dan Herron. Had a lot of hopes for Dan. He did well with us, but not as good as I would have wanted to see. Same thing with CJ Wilson. Catcher, Mike Piazza, another legend I looked up to. I've been hanging on to Mike Piazza cards. Vernon Wells, Blue Jays. He will be joining the Angels later on. This is before he was on the team. I think same thing with the Dan Herron card. He joined the Angels later. David Eckstein. He is married to Ashley Eckstein, who is the voice of Ahsoka Tano, which is pretty cool. I love Star Wars. One of my favorite things, Star Wars. Mark Teixeira. I hear Teixeira is running for office. Teixeira always reminds me of my grandma. To this day, I don't know if she liked him or hated him. For some reason, she always, every time I saw my grandma, she brought up Mark Teixeira. For whatever reason, she had to talk about him. And I couldn't tell if she was being sarcastic about it. I don't know why she always wanted to talk about Mark Teixeira. But he reminds me of my grandma. So I'm going to hang on to Teixeira. And here's another Teixeira. Jones and Teixeira. Chipper Jones on the Braves. Adam Kennedy moved on to the Cardinals from the Angels. Troy Glass, same thing. Moved on to the Cards from the Angels. You think they talked Pujols up? Told him how good SoCal was? I'm hanging on to all Pujols cards. I really like the guy. Alfonso Soriano. I remember playing Alfonso, his backyard baseball character. Man, he was one of the greats. Randy Johnson. I love this card because it's him hitting, he's batting, and I've actually got another card over here. So got a Diamondbacks and a Braves, and it's interesting that they selected two cards where he's batting rather than pitching. He was a good hitting pitcher. Maybe not a Shohei Ohtani, but Johnson could hit. So it's cool to see that they selected his batting card. So I'm hanging on to the Randy Johnsons. Okay, and before Mike Napoli, I idolized Benji Molina, who was the 2002 World Series catcher on the Angels. So I was sad to see him go to the Giants, but it was cool to see, you know, Benji and then, of course, his brother Yadier on the Cardinals and Jose Molina. And I think Jose became a coach at one point for the Angels. He may or may not still be. Benji, I believe, is coaching maybe with the Giants. So they're still very well into the game. But Benji was my favorite in 2002. Ichiro. It wasn't until a lot later that I really started to respect Ichiro. I didn't like him at first. I really can't tell you why. But, as I got older, I came to appreciate just how good a ball player he was. And watching him on the field, he's just a respectable guy. So I've changed my opinion on him. Jared Washburn. I feel like he really was the hero of Seattle. Ichiro. Bud Black, the Padres. He was a coach for the Angels. Troy Percival. Good old Percy. Scott Kazmir. Billy Butler. I'm really hanging on to him because of funny story. The same friend that likes the Giants, I was playing him in MLB The Show, and the game was 0-0 to the ninth. And I was the Royals. I don't remember who he was. I stepped up to the plate with Billy Butler, and I say, "All right, Bill, this is it." And I hit a ball that was lobbed over to left field with Billy, and it barely bounced off the top of the wall, and I won the game. It was a moment in our friendship. So I'm gonna hang on to Billy Butler. Justin Verlander. Again, catchers. Joe Mauer, he was another one. Just a great ball player and good guy too. I remember him being an inspiration. He's just all these catchers, man, they get me going. Mickey Mantle. That was a cool card to come across. I think this is like the only older card in this set was this Mickey Mantle here. Besides the Babe Ruth. So we got Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth. Hideki Matsui. Jeter. One of the recent MLB The Shows, I think it's MLB 24. There's a whole storyline on Jeter, and you learn about his whole career. You play through his highlight moments. It's a really really cool experience. I highly recommend playing MLB The Show. AL leaders, we got Scott Kazmir, Santana, and Bedard. Mostly hanging on to it because I'd like to see Kazmir up there. And here we go, some legendary power hitters here. Prince Fielder, Ryan Howard, and Adam Dunn. NL leaders for home runs. Now the AL home run leaders. Alex Rodriguez, And not too happy to see him on here, but I believe that's Carlos Pena and David Ortiz. I like Big Poppy. Don't like A-Rod though. Sorry, A-Rod. Much more of a Jeter guy. Runs batted in, and we've got Matt Holliday, Brian Howard again, and Miguel Cabrera on the Marlins. Not yet on the Tigers. Runs batted in for AL. Rodriguez again. Ordonez. I want to say Maglio Ordonez. And Big Daddy Vladdy. That's the main reason I have this. Let's see if I got that name right. Maglio Ordonez. Yes. Oh, and Torrey Hunter's on there too. Go Torrey. And classic combos, Pujols and Prince Fielder. Legends right there. All right, and I also pulled these, which were a little more, again, like $2 and up. From what I could tell, I'm not entirely certain on these. I think these are more junk era. I don't know that I fully trust the estimates, but here we go. Bill Duran. I'm not going to hang on to these. Denny Gonzalez. I had a few of him. Walt Terrell. Okay, this one, though. Here's a Scherzer rookie card with a Ken Griffey Jr. says on the back. That's a neat one. I might hang on to this. I'm going to think about it. Undecided. Alex Ochoa. This is a chrome card, much shinier. Rick Lysander. Marty Castillo. This was saying it was like $9. From when I was looking at the value, I'm not sure on that one. Again, it could be like one sale skewing that number. Richie Hebner. Nixon. These don't have first names. I don't know. Otis Nixon. It's a neat card. Interesting. They got a picture of him stretching. Nate Snell. Bob Nepper. Louis Polonia. Excuse me. And then a couple of the Fleer sets that maybe were worth a little bit more. Tony Phillips. Frank Thomas. Again, these are junk era. Probably not super high value. Edgar Diaz. Candy Maldonado. Luis Soho. Geronimo Pena. Wally Backman. Wayne Edwards. Angels. Cliff Young. I really like that style jersey. California Angels. Delino DeShields. This was a better one. I think this one held some value. And then a couple more cards that I plan to keep. Nolan Ryan commemorative card. It came from the Fleer set. Rangers, Angels, and Astros. Mark Langston went on to be a commentator for the Angels. And then this one, Miguel Cabrera, Xander Bogaerts, and Jose Altuve. Out of these, I probably like Xander Bogaerts the most. Jose Altuve really went down. I used to love him, but after the whole cheating thing, my respect for him went way down. But I want to hang on to this because Trout's on the back. Of course, he's up there with the leaders. And I do like Bogaerts. Okay, so that covers pretty much all of what I found in those sets. That Fleer set also had these really cool sticker cards, and on the back of these Fleer Action Series, on the back of these, there's quizzes. So keep an eye out. I think I'm going to be dropping these quizzes into a little short video. So keep an eye out. I'll drop these. I don't know, maybe weekly or so. We'll see. I think it would be fun. Go through and look at 1990s trivia. Why not? But thank you so much for listening, for joining me as I look through all my cards here. I've got still so many more to look through. I have many of these sets of 100 boxes, so I've got to get going on it. Thank you very much, and this is Dandoozi.